What's up, everybody? Brett here, back today playing some more Loop Hero. So, for those of you who have been watching my channel, you'll see that I have played this game. I beat the demo. You'll see here I have my save slots open. We are going to start a new save today with the full release. I went ahead and changed the fonts to high res because I was having trouble, I remember, reading some of the fonts that they had before. The pixel font, if you look at it here, there's a lot of dialogue in this game, and sometimes it's hard for me to read. And as I'm talking here, it's hard for me to talk. So just real quick, I'm playing this game right as it's being released. However, I went to the dentist this morning, and I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I definitely can. I can barely talk. The right side of my face is like swollen out to hell. So, I'm doing my best. If you hear like a little bit of slurring of the S's, I'm not drunk. I just, I had cotton in my mouth not that long ago. So, alright, hopefully everything sounds good, everything looks good. So there is a lot of reading, which is, I'm not going to read, guys. If you would like, normally I do read. I even try to do some voices sometimes for the lore, but we've done this all before. I could do a continuation of this particular game, but I'd like to try it again from the beginning and have you guys experience it fresh, as well as myself. So, without any further ado, let's jump into it. I think we will skip the tutorial, but we're just going to start. I don't remember how much story was in the tutorial. We'll watch all this, but I'm not going to read it. I'll just kind of slowly click through, giving you guys enough time to read. That still looks like Rohan to me. I'm kind of getting like strong Akira vibes as well. And hopefully you guys just kind of enjoy the good vibes, even if I'm not reading. So we just built our first campfire. We did miss some story elements. Our main character, our protagonist, basically being like, what is this? What's going on? Yeah, I mean, we missed a lot of that. But we built our campfire. Every time we pass through it in the loop, our hero will restore 20% of his max HP. Yep, and then we're going to be collecting supplies in order to build more buildings. So we're going to go for the first expedition. This is, I think, the basic deck that it's given me. The boss is the Lich. We have no starting bonuses. Let's do it. Chapter 1. And here is the loop. Everything is wrong. So the whole deal is the Lich came down, wiped out the world, our memories cracked, and we're trying to figure stuff out. We're stuck on this loop. That's a pretty good haul right off the bat. So, the warrior has access to 4 pieces of gear: shield, breastplate, ring, and weapon. Alright, and we'll place this here. This is one of the cards in our deck. It's a beacon. It makes everything move and attack faster. Get our sword, 4 to 6 damage, Gladius. And you'll see here, as we get stats, they'll pop up down below. Alright, alright. And a vampire mansion, also right off the bat, pretty interesting. Let's maybe put it here. That's going to give us a pretty tough early fight right there, but we'll deal with it. So we have no say in what goes on in the battle, right? The only way we can influence the battle is by choosing loot and by placing things down on the board. It's a very interesting style of play. I have since learned a few things since the last time I played. So the mountain here, the mountain card, gives me bonus HP. You'll see here for each adjacent rock or mountain. And then the meadow lets me heal per day. So the day progress, every time the day passes, I get a certain amount healed based on how many meadows I have. And this progress here, the more stuff I build, the closer the boss will be to appearing. So I'm going to put my meadows next to my mountains because that turns them into blooming meadows, which are more efficient than standard meadows. It's a little pro tip there. Back off, human. Hundreds of years of hunger. He looked like Vega for a second with his long claw hand. Street Fighter reference check. Like I said, guys, lots of reading. No voice acting in this game. Hopefully you can kind of read along for yourself. So what happened by placing the vampire mansion along the path is that every fight that takes place near the vampire mansion on the tiles that it also affects will cause there to be a vampire spawned in that particular fight. And the vampires, in addition to being enemy in and of themselves, they also give the things fighting with them lifesteal. They also drop pretty damn good loot too. Let's go ahead and place some rocks. All of our gear right now is level 1. And our loop is going to be pretty basic, and I honestly don't expect to win our first loop. We might, but I don't expect it. The road lantern, you'll look on the right bottom side, you'll see what it does. Decreases the maximum number of monsters on adjacent tiles. So it'll keep, 4 enemies from spawning here. And you'll see we got healed as we went through the village. It'll reduce it by 1, so there'll never be a certain number of enemies that spawn there. Alright, and we got our first bit of armor here. 94 bonus HP. We have a spider cocoon. This one goes on the side, so I'll just put it there. And we're stacking up enemies in that part of the map. And as we build new buildings, we will unlock new cards. Vampire Mansion. You know what? I'll put it here. And the more interesting story-driven elements will take place once we go back to the campfire. That's when the story kind of develops. So yet another beacon. I'll place that one there. Alright, let's get this vampire fight in. Hopefully get some vampiric loot. We can get some lifesteal. And you'll notice there's 2 different phases. Because we didn't do the tutorial, you didn't really get to see that. I'll take the grove here. I'll put a grove right there. There's 2 different stages. So there's the planning stage where it's basically like I paused everything. And then there's the stage where everything just kind of keeps going. We're playing on 2 times speed. So I don't know why you wouldn't. And you'll notice as we pass through certain biomes, basically, we pick up certain types of loot, supplies that we can use to then go back to town and build stuff. Alright, so I'm building out this mountain here. I think once I get 9 of them together, I get a large mountain which spawns harpies. And I'm just kind of putting a lot of stuff in different spots. The cemetery there will spawn skeletons. And certain enemy cards do have synergies together as well. I don't know what all the synergies are. I've discovered a few of them. There we go, some rocks. Just keep going on the outside with the meadows. And I'll put another grove there. There we go, finally a little more defense from the new shield. And I'll build a new cemetery here. Yeah, evasion. Our defense is up to 7. We're recovering 18 HP per day. There we go, that's a huge upgrade. And there we go. This will convert into a mountain peak, which gives a bunch of HP. And spawns harpies. But we're using it for the blooming meadow. Yeah, way more HP, and damage to all is nice. That'll give me a bit of an AoE attack as we go into a tile like this where there are 3 enemies. You'll notice we're hurting them all. And for the most part, every time you get an item that's, you know, a higher level than the one before, it's almost always just straight up better. So, like, this is a level 4. It gives me 9 magic damage. 9 magic damage is probably better than 4 magic damage plus 2 damage to all. It's not always the case, because we're going to see lots of different rarities. There we go. We really need that shield. We're taking a bit of a beating. And we need to kind of expect to die until we get some of the benefits of stronger loot. And we spawned, I should have mentioned this, once we built 10 of the mountains and rocks, it spawned a goblin area. So you'll see here, we're starting to take some pretty substantial damage that we're not quite able to heal ourselves out of. Oblivion is wonderful. The treasury is also good. If we can surround it with stuff, we can get a huge payday from that. And Oblivion here will let me wipe out a tile. I like to save these for fighting against the boss, because the boss is going to spawn a bunch of buildings when he shows up. Palaces, I think they're called. And they give him power. And if you can use the Oblivions before you fight him to wipe them out, you can take away some of his power. Let's get a road lantern there. I'll spawn some spiders. We're taking a lot of damage. We could really use some better gear. We need a better weapon. We're not doing enough damage. That's what I'm talking about. And we can look at the stats right now. 14 to 22 damage, 8% attack speed, 8% counter. Alright, keep going. I'm concerned about that growing goblin camp. Alright, keep it up. Okay. Get a meadow there. Get a mountain there. As we progress in the game, we're going to get more and more ways to kind of help ourselves to heal and such. Man, 20% counter. That's pretty huge. I'll take a battlefield heal. That'll spawn a chest for me. Enemies on adjacent tiles can become ghosts, though. That's something to keep in mind. Man, I'm really hoping I can beat this. Alright, this is our first harpy. Once again, just going to kind of click through it. Alright, later, Harpy. And if you want to see their stats, we can hover over them. Some of them do have unique abilities. We're kind of not at that point in the game yet, though, where that's very relevant. Alright, we got another treasury. We're so low on HP. We're gonna have to do that and hope that we can make it back. Oh, this is a Goblin Chief. Okay. This could be a little harder than I gave it credit for. We might have wanted to Oblivion this one, but... Have you ever watched Goblin Slayer? These guys not helping you. Good to be killing this guy first, the Goblin Leader, because he has a rage ability. If we killed this guy first, which we just did on accident, he would become more powerful and we'd have a hard time taking him out. Alright, so here's the deal, guys. We will probably not survive another loop. So this would be a good time to leave. It's giving us the all clear, return to camp. We're going to retreat. We're not losing anything. And now we're going to meet this lady. She's kind of like the head of the camp, it seems. Yoda. I forgot her name was Yoda. So right now we're playing as the warrior, but I know that we can also unlock other characters. The only additional one I've ever seen is the rogue. But I have to imagine there are more. Oh, she's going to give me some supplies as well. We can look at statistics, but that's not super important. What is important, though, is seeing if we can build anything, like the field kitchen. That's the first thing we're going to build. It's going to increase the campfire's healing power. Might be better, honestly, to wait for the herbalist hut, because we're not that far off. And that would give us access to healing potions, which is a really huge boon. But we're going to take the field kitchen. We can't even look at the other ones yet. Interesting. Alright, let's do the field kitchen. And meet the Iron Chef. A la cuisine. I used to love that show, man. I used to love watching the cooking channel. I say unto you in the words of my uncle. If you get that reference, you're one of the real ones. So we can upgrade or destroy the building. It also has unlocked the Blood Grove. So a little bit better healing as we pass through our expeditions. Let's unclick from that. Let's go to our expedition. And we did unlock a new card. So the Blood Grove. In order to equip this... Actually, no. That gave me... Okay. The maximum number of cards we can bring is 12. And there's a maximum number of cards from each section that you could bring. The Blood Grove... Preys on wounded occupants of adjacent tiles, may spawn something dreadful from their remains. Can be placed near a forest adjacent to the road. Its roots devours enemies that have less than 50% HP left. I think you can also use this on the boss. I saw someone say that, but I'm not 100% on that. But it feels pretty sweet when the level itself starts to swallow the bad guys for you. But then it feels bad when they spawn, I forget what they are, like some sort of blood golem or something. It's a very powerful enemy that hits really hard. But let's get our first couple battles out the way, see what kind of loot we can get. It's all about the loot in the early game, that's for sure. Vampires. You know what? I'll put some vampires here. We might want to be a little bit stingier with making really difficult enemies in our first couple runs. Because we really did make some tough battles for ourselves. We basically made it so that we were fighting vampires the whole time, when we probably should not have done that. Like getting an easy vampire here, but maybe we don't also put... Ooh, very good early ring. We also don't put, you know, all the spawns that we can, like right there. That would not have been a good idea. And let's get a road lantern. I'll put one there. Perfect. And we're probably going to go today for maybe like an hour. Really get back into the game. Get a couple good loops under our belt. Let's get a grove going here. And that'll give me space to put the blood groves as well. Could use a shield. And just if you haven't picked up on it, the enemies spawn based on like the days. There's a day-night cycle. I like to put the road lanterns where they can get the best coverage. And I like keeping this open so I can kind of see what my materials are. We have branches that turn into wood. Noticeable change that turns into metamorphosis once you get a certain amount. Rations, basically our food, and then we also have stone. And then once our inventory fills up, it starts to turn into scrap metal. Put some vampires here and we'll see. I might not put anything in the vampire zone. Could be saving some of these to hopefully get a treasury that we can very quickly surround. But the treasuries I find are better in the late game anyway. If you kind of hold on to finishing them, you can find yourself getting, you know, better quality loot. Because it'll spawn you loot equivalent to whatever your current like level and your current loot level is. Alright, we got our first blood grove. That's sweet. Alright, let's get our rock down. Get a rock down. And then we'll put a blood grove here on the outside. So, the grove here spawns wolves, but they can move. They don't necessarily stay on their tile like everything else does. Put some spooters right there. Honestly, don't know if I want to put another vampiric mansion down quite yet. It has some very good synergies later. Alright, way better weapon. Nice. And I'll spawn harpies right now, I don't care. It has a negative synergy that I've discovered with the mosquitoes once we're able to build a swamp. And then it also has synergies with villages where it can make like thralls. Which is a new type of enemy. Enemies that you only get by placing certain things adjacent to other certain things. Alright, and we've spawned a goblin camp, which I don't mind. Might have been better perhaps to wait another level or two to spawn them, but... I am not afraid. Alright, there we go. We got our treasury. That's excellent. I'll put it right here. Get a beacon down. I'll put it there. Get the meadow going. So I don't quite remember what resource we needed for the herbalist to be built. Alright, enemy level 3. And we're still rocking like pretty much all level 1 gear. Okay. Ugh, lots more spiders. I'm gonna keep them separate from the vampires. I'd rather fight vampires than slimes. Oh man, I'm starting to get some of the sensitivity back on the right side of my face. This is gonna be rough though. Triple goblin this early. We are basically fully healed. And there are certain enemies that are kind of a nightmare to give the vampires to, and the goblins are one of them. Because they attack so quickly that giving them vampirism is brutal. And you see here, we're getting wrecked. We miss like every attack. Okay, a level 5 ring. Yeah, I think we're getting very unlucky with our loot. We should be getting level 5 gear. And we're still rocking like level 1 gear. They're hitting me for almost full damage because I've got a level 1 shield. God, this hurt. Yeah, now I get an oblivion. It's a little late. I really need a better shield. I'm taking just absolute full damage. They're gonna kill me. Yeah, that sucked. I mean, I can fight one more thing, but like, I'm going down. Better to leave on your own terms than die. I mean, there's a chance here I get one more fight. I was in the weeds. Yeah, now I'm gonna pay for my hubris. Couldn't beat the wolf rat. Yeah, and now we're gonna take home a very like paltry sum. But this is also important too. You're gonna die in this game. Okay. And you'll see here to build. We need a little more wood, and I think these are the rations. But we also unlock some other stuff. So the refugee unlocks a new class, the rogue. In these dire times, it's your duty to offer help to the needy. Can only be built next to a field kitchen. Hopefully I've left room to build a field kitchen. But look how much wood you need, 12. That's a lot. And then also the gymnasium, which is great. It unlocks the village, which can give you, special monsters, but also the village card itself, which allows you to heal. Just even more healing. I would definitely prioritize the herbalist hut and the gymnasium. But yeah, let's try and just jump back in it. That goblin camp really is what killed us. So maybe this time we'll hold off on spawning harpies and goblins until our loot. It's not even that we did it at a bad time. It's that we did it without almost any loot. We were still using full level 1 gear almost when had we gotten just a little bit luckier, we could have been rocking level 4, level 5 gear. And we were just taking full damage from an enemy that attacks a lot. Defense is like a super important early game early game item. So the Lich spawns palaces near... Oh, this is great, these early Oblivions. Spawns palaces near your village, and when he shows up, he's going to show up here at the village itself. I'll put down a grove. So if you can surround the village, I think it prevents him from spawning those palaces. I don't know if he just doesn't, you know, go out a little bit further with them. Alright, let's get the Blood Grove. I like to place enemy stuff on the outside and all, like, my positive buildings or tiles on the inside. Yeah. Just early game, we just need some sustainability, some vampirism, some HP regen. Make sure we stop it, go into the planning phase. I am going to put this treasury, let's see if we can plan it out a little bit. Yeah, that's perfect. Go rock there. And we'll put a vampire there. Alright. So let's get our free treasure. Getting these early is huge. As you'll see, I mean, these are great items compared to what we're currently using. Huge stat upgrades. And that'll spawn every day for us. So we can look forward to some treasures right at the beginning. I would like to get another one too, if I can. If we were playing as the rogue class, we could dual wield. Something that I've seen. It's pretty sweet. Alright, let's make sure we go in the planning phase. We can pause it. Let's keep the fights relatively easy early on. I'll spawn some spiders. And I'll put the beacon there. Just hover over it for a second so you guys can see what it says. Another Blood Grove. I might hold that as well. And I'll place the second beacon. Just keep in mind, everything we place pushes us further and further to the boss. You know, if you're not ready for it, it's not good. This is like a tier 4 sword in rarity, a dirk. A tier 4 is probably better than a common. You'll see we get a little bit more damage, but I think the other stats, comparatively, they add up to the usefulness of that particular thing. Kind of the same thing with the shield. Alright, let's keep rolling. So this is where I think we don't complete this. Let's maybe give ourselves another loop around. But we'll still continue to fill out our stuff here and get the stat bonuses and all that. Nice. Happy to see a road lantern. Let's put one here. Oh, I didn't mean to place that. God dang it. Well, I've already done it now. I didn't mean to spawn goblins. And they're going to spawn right next to a vampire. So that's really bad. I don't control where they spawn, obviously. But I didn't mean to place that last rock. I was thinking more, don't put it here. When I should have been thinking, don't put it at all. Give yourself another lap. But we're getting way better loot than we were last time. I mean, look at this set of armor here. Attack speed, defense, and maximum HP is quite good. I'm happy we're killing this guy first. Excellent. Good regen, too. I like the AoE damage, the 5 damage to all, but the regen is just kind of universally good. I mean, another good set of armor. Honestly, probably better than the one we're wearing, if only incrementally. Still working with a level 1 ring, though. Can a man get a good ring? Alright, now a level 4 weapon is probably enough of an upgrade to go up. Alright, we'll put that down. Alright, and another treasury. It's great. Kill these easy spiders. I'm still debating on putting this down. I can, keep in mind, not only can I wipe what's on the board. By that I mean, not only can I kill this group of goblins here, I can kill the camp with one of these oblivions. Okay. Let's get that there. So only one more meadow and we'll finish that off. Am I going a little bit too hard? Possibly. We're gonna get full HP here. So this can spawn a mimic. There we go. Alright, better shield. And way better ring. Gonna miss the vampirism, but the counter is also nice. Okay, that's 4 enemies on one tile. I'm gonna Oblivion this fight. And I'm gonna get all the loot from this. Huh. It's kind of funny. This is a pretty close upgrade here. Not much of an upgrade. Well, let's go ahead and spawn the harpies. We have so much better loot than we did before. And we're in such a better position. Alright, we'll get that down. So keep in mind, we needed a bunch of the food supply. And I think we only needed one more wood. We might be able to build the smith. Probably building whatever you can is just correct. Instead of like holding out for certain buildings. But I really would prefer to get the herbalist. And you know what? Here, I'm going to place that. I'm going to place that. And I might hold off on this until maybe our last lap. Or whatever I think is going to be our last lap. Because it's basically guaranteed. Guaranteed excellent loot. So I'll hold this rock and I'll put it there. When there's a chance I could get some, you know, much higher quality gear. And now I don't really have to hold it. As long as I have one. And we did spawn another goblin camp, which I'm okay with. As long as our gear keeps getting better. I mean, that is an upgrade I'll take. This is dangerous, though. I wish I could tell the AI who to target. Because we definitely want to kill the big guy first. He's just wailing on me. Alright, that hurt again, but look at this level 6 shield, 50% vampirism. And you know what? Where are we on the map? Let's go ahead and finish this. Let's see if I can get some great loot. And I did. Better set of armor and a better weapon. A weapon with some regen, no less, which I do like. Do we want the spiders? Let's leave it. I mean, our biggest problem is that we have no sustain, like you do once you unlock the potions in the villages. We just have to count on natural evasion, on vampirism, on regen. We lose a lot for this. Yeah, I'm gonna keep... I think this is one of the rare occasions where these stats are just better than these stats. I like the damage to all. If I see that there are a lot of really crowded tiles. Put the treasury down there. Let's keep the regen too. Start building out another treasury. Next fight is going to be a skeleton and a vampire. I don't hate another Oblivion. Okay, level 6 armor. 3 regen a second, that's huge. Okay. I see this here, and I don't like it. I might Oblivion this, and Oblivion that. Let's not fight any more goblins. They were voted most likely to mess me up in high school. Another beacon. Alright, alright. We're making it. Get another beacon there. And I mean, we'll spawn more if we keep placing them. Keep placing rocks and stuff. We'll make more goblins. And this is our first gargoyle. Has artificial life. Alright, this has got to be better than whatever I'm using. 2 levels higher. Alright, we'll take that heal. We got big regen. 4.2 regen per day. This armor... Yeah, I hate to say it. I don't know if this is better than 3 regen per day. That's just huge. I'm gonna hold on to my regen. That's such a rare amount. I don't know if I've ever seen that much regen. On a single piece. God, what a dangerous fight. I didn't realize this also had a vampire in it. And we'll start building out another mountain range around here. That way we're not wasting the mountains that we've placed. And yet another treasury. Oh god, you'll see this big guy down here? That's one of the ones we're kind of worried about. Enemy level 6. They do scale, they get stronger. See, this gives me more vampirism. This might be worth the change out, though it's hard to say. There we go. That's a big upgrade in weaponry. And the maces have damage to all more often than not. We heal 45 HP per day. We're about to get a heal off of that. Getting some level 8 gear. Unfortunately, it's real basic. Yeah, I'm gonna hold what I have. Alright, Flesh Golem. Big HP. Whew. We're evading. That's amazing. We have a 9% chance to evade him, and we did it. That's amazing. That's incredible. I didn't expect to get that lucky. And for our trouble, we got some big upgrades. We got a big upgrade on our ring. Happy to see more vampirism there. Putting us up to 36%. We're going to lose a little vampirism, but we're going to gain some static regen plus some defense. Like a lot of defense. And then this weapon here has more vampirism as well as more damage. And damage to all. So those are massive upgrades we just got from that fight. And that's part of the incentive. Ooh, let's put it there. Ooh, we spawned a goblin camp, but that's part of the incentive to place things to get stronger enemies. I don't think we're going to get any better loot than that. We basically need to make it around 2 more times. Because the boss isn't going to spawn this time, but he would spawn the next time. Okay. Let's get another road lantern here. Oh, I can't complete this treasury. That sucks. I should have thought about that. I can't place mountains and such next to the road. I don't think I can place meadows next to the road either. Once we finish this loop... Oh, these evasions hurt. Once we finish this loop, I'll unlock this treasury if I get a meadow, and I do. Okay. We just gotta make it through this area. Pretty spooky. But we hit really hard now. Nice to see another battlefield. I'll just put that there. Put this one here. We're getting a ton of resources. We're doing great. This is a much better run than the previous one. We might even, I don't want to be like crazy optimistic, but we might even be strong enough or nearly strong enough to face the boss. Alright, speed up this gargoyle. Smashed. Alright. Just to take a second to reassess. Was hoping for some better loot. Didn't get it, but that's alright. These are still going to give me good meadows. And let's hold off. We're about to spawn the boss. If I place literally anything, the boss spawns. Okay. So... there we go. It would be amazing to beat the boss so soon, and he spawned 5 palaces. That sucks. Let's get some oblivions, man. A level 8 shield. Comparable defense. I think this one's just slightly better. But yeah, man, let's get some oblivions. I think in order to win, we have... okay, there's one. In order to win, I have to get rid of these. So if we look at it here, every palace increases his HP and damage by 5%. He spawned a bunch of them. So let's really cross our fingers for more Oblivions. He spawned 6 of them? That sucks. Just cross your fingers. I don't know how many more we need to get, but we need to get at least... Man, give me 1, 2 more. Level 9 shield and weapon. Man, I think I'll lose the 6 defense for the 15% vampirism. The damage to all won't help me at all in the boss fight. It's just a pretty useless stat there. I really kind of messed up with this. Wish that hadn't happened, but... C'est la vie. I mean, we're at 47% vampirism. That's so huge. I don't know, however, if that's enough to carry me through the boss battle. 50% vampirism. I don't think I've ever gotten that much. Vampirism pairs really well with attack speed. We have bonus 12%. We have no evasion, though. Evasion's a really important stat versus the boss, because he attacks super slow, but he hits really hard. So if you can evade just a couple attacks... It makes all the difference in the world, just not getting hit for like 100 whatever at a time. I'm kind of debating whether or not we should leave. Because without the Oblivions, I don't think we can win. We spawned another goblin camp, but that doesn't matter. Come on, give me an Oblivion. You do have a maximum hand size. I don't remember what it is. Oh wow, we were able to finish it that way? I did not know that. Yeah, just damage versus all is just such a totally useless stat. Ugh. Make sure we pause here, because I can run. I don't think we can beat the boss. This is way too many early game resources for me to throw them all away on a death. So as much as it sucks to throw away what potentially could have been a winning fight, I just don't think we could have gotten there. With some potions, sure. Yeah, I mean, basically just potions I think would have been enough to tip us over the edge. We also don't have, I think it's the Gymnasium that gives you the ability to basically level up and to unlock like passive traits that are really strong. Maybe in tomorrow's episode I'll do some additional narration, but I just don't want to narrate anything that I've already narrated, you know? So we have a ton. We could actually get the gymnasium and get the villages, which I think might be more important, just straight up, than the potions. Is there any way I can get 2? If I do some quick math here. So, I have more than 4 wood. I have more than 7 stone. I have more than 7 scrap. And do I have more than 6 rations? I don't. I can't quite get the herbalist hut and the smithy. This doesn't take any rations at all, though. I might be able to get the gymnasium and something else. The gymnasium and the herbalist hut? Alright, let's get the herbalist hut first. And we'll place that on this side over here. And we'll meet the old lady who lives in the shoe. She reminds me of Mama Odell, if you ever watched Princess and the Frog. I'm from Louisiana, so I love that particular Disney movie. I mean, that right there was already such an incredible, like, buff to us. And we could, oh man, we could jump straight to the farms. But I think going to the farms without having the villages is a little weird. Yeah, let's unlock the gymnasium here. So, she gave me potions, which you can get refilled, but she also gave me the swamp card, which spawns mosquitoes. Let's unlock the gymnasium, which gives us the ability to gain special traits after killing monsters. Unlocks the village card. Let's go ahead and put that maybe up here. The hubris. Learn to like learning. I was just listening to a podcast with Bert Kreischer talking about historical events in the most ignorant way I've ever heard. It's hilarious, but it's so painful to see an older man not know anything about anything. Incredibly painful. Okay, so let's look at the cemetery. A gloomy but necessary part of every village. Passing through the cemetery on expeditions grants you a piece of information. Can resurrect the hero after an upgrade. That's really cool. Supply depot. Unlocks the supply feature. From now on, you will begin to find useful artifacts for your people. Unlocks the ability to craft items if you have the necessary buildings. Unlocks the ruins card. Would really love to unlock the rogue as a different class to play as, but let's kind of get the basics underway first. And I think next episode we'll definitely get the farm and smithy. That's like pretty much guaranteed. And then we'll have to see how much the smelter costs. And then of course we have new cards to add to our collection. Chrono crystals, double the effects of the days, passing on adjacent tiles. We have the swamp. Spawns a mosquito every 3 days. All healing effects are lethal here except for the potions. They are still on your side. And then the village heals 15 plus 5 times whatever loop you're on. And gives you a quest. It makes a unit, it makes an enemy like an elite. And if you kill it and then come back to the village, you get some nice loot for that. So in order to unlock this stuff, we have to take other things away. Like for instance, take away the spiders, add the chrono crystals. Take away the cemetery, add the village. That sort of thing. Could take away the beacons. Add the swamp. Something like that. But guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Brett, channel's Goodtalk Gaming, and as always guys, I'll see you in the next one. Later y'all.